Morning, superstars. Or afternoon, should I say? Good luck. What's this? Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers on the AusCycling YouTube channel today. We're a little bit earlier today for our day number 4 of the AusCycling Track National Cycling Championships here 2024 for elite and under 19 athletes. Started a little bit early today because we have some of our Paralympians here setting some fast times. So these aren't official races. You'll see there's a motorbike actually rolling on the track as well that's setting as a pacer for our Paralympian champion Paige Greco. And Paige is here with the rest of the Paralympic team to set a fast time, give themselves the opportunity before they head off to World Championships. This is just a polishing off day for some of our Paralympians here on the very, very fast Anna Meares Velodrome. So we've got a couple of rides from our Paralympians, which is fantastic to see here. And then we will be getting underway with our 4th day of the National Track Cycling Championships. Got some qualifying rides to happen here this afternoon. The junior men's teams pursuit qualifying, the junior men's 19s time trial qualifying, the elite men's time trial qualifying, and also the junior women 19s team sprint qualifying. So once again, we've got a bit of a short afternoon session here. However, we've got good numbers in our junior men 19 teams pursuit and also the 19 time trial. So they'll be riding to get themselves into, first of all, in the teams pursuit, the gold and silver medal final, and 3rd and 4th rider for a bronze medal. And of course, our time trial for the 19s, time trial for the elite men. They'll all be trying to make top 8 to be able to ride again this evening. And then we will have the junior women's 19 team sprint, where once again they'll be riding to see who's going to ride in the gold medal final here later this evening. Once again, AusCycling YouTube channel for this afternoon session. And then tonight you'll be able to go on to SBS On Demand and you'll be able to hear Scott McGorry and Kate Bates once again for this evening's action. Now this evening, once again, a number of different medal championships will be held. Junior men teams pursuit final, the elite men's teams pursuit final, which is going to be between Western Australia and Queensland. And we'll have the junior women's 19s team sprint. Then we'll have a little bit of a break in the program for all the presentations. Then we'll have the junior men time trial final. Of course, riding in the junior men time trial today, we have the junior world champion, Tate Ryan. He'll be wearing his rainbow band jersey here today, which will be nice to see. Then we'll have the elite men's time trial. This really has thrown a cat amongst the pigeons, the elite men's time trial here today, because Matthew Glates and Tom Cornish not taking part. They've had their good few days of racing and now they'll be concentrating on their next lot of preparation for Paris 2024. So big chance for Byron Davies, the Queenslander, to see if he can lift the title here in the 1,000-metre time trial. We'll then have the junior women's 19 points race, and we'll be finishing off the program this evening with the elite women's points race as well. So plenty of racing again tonight, as we've seen with all of our racing so far over the last few days. It has been very exciting indeed. As Paige Greco goes through, finishes her ride now. She's just done a 3:55.907. Coaches seem happy with it. Nice little crowd in here at the Anna Meares Velodrome at the moment, enjoying what they're seeing. Yeah, and a motorbike.
No, one mic.
Yeah, no, I did it on purpose.
Oh, okay, sweet.
I did that on purpose because you went live at 10:02. I've just spoken to the AusCycling YouTube channel and just made it like they're the only ones in existence for now. And when we get to 1 o'clock, I will do another install. So now we'll have Meg Lemon is the next of our Paralympian cyclists who's going to be out to do her ride. Motorbike on the other side of the track. Now, some people will be asking, why do we have the motorbike out there? Why don't they just put another rider out there? The way the aerodynamics works in this type of racing, to make sure riders can set the fastest time they can, they don't sit behind the motorbike. You can't do that. But by having the motorbike ride around the track in the way that it does create a bubble of air. It breaks the air, and by the time the next rider comes around, that's that little bit more of a bubble. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not able to give you the absolute full details. However, I am able to say the reason for the motorbike there is to make sure that it's just that more like a race conditions, as if they did have a rider on the other side of the track in a racing condition. It helps with the aerodynamics, also helps as a pacer as well. Queensland, represented by Will Heath, Alex Hughes, Toby Jones and Luke Rickett. This is the qualifying ride of the junior men's 19s teams pursuit. So the Queensland team up and going nicely. Toughest job in qualifying, being the first team out on track. Just going to leave absolutely nothing out there as they travel. Try and set the fastest time they possibly can. Got themselves moving nicely now. Up on the wheel nicely. We've had some great results from all the Queensland riders here, whether it be endurance or whether it be sprint this last couple of days. Alex Hughes in this team here had a fantastic win last night in the points race. Toby Jones leads through this time. 1:05.587. Very nice start here from the Queensland juniors. Take full advantage of the fact that they're on their home track. They'll know how the transitions go. Big turn here from Toby Jones. Entering his second lap on the front here. Now he gets up. Good strong turn there from Toby Jones. Well drilled unit. Fights his way to get back on the tail end there. Queensland team being coached by a man with all of the experience there on the inside of the track. Jordan Kirby, former world individual pursuit champion back in 2017. It was great success at Commonwealth Games level and Olympics. No better man to be able to leading the future of the sport. 2:05.612 here for these Queensland juniors. They've gone through their second kilometre around 59 seconds to 1 minute there. So fantastic first 2,000 metres. They're down to 3 riders now. Luke Rickett is the rider to drop out that time. Not unusual to see this tactic employed in teams pursuing these days. Once upon a time, if a rider dropped out early, you would really start to worry about the team. But most of the time these days, there's a pre-planned situation of riders knowing exactly when they're going to do their turns and when they're not required after that. I see with the Italian team, when Filippo Ganna is riding, seem to be doing 3.5 and 4.5 lap turns as part of the Italian team with great success. Just look for a couple more boys who can hang on to him so he can get that power out. The Queensland team coming through now with 1,000 metres to go, 3:06.789, really moving nicely here. Not quite negative splitting the 3rd kilometre, but it is tough out there. This is one of the toughest events on the velodrome. These guys are moving nicely. Trying to set a superb time as the first heat on the track to really put the pressure on the rest of the teams. The 2 fastest times will go in and ride for gold and silver later tonight. The 3rd and 4th will race for bronze. Hear the call there from the coach, Alex Extra. Just wants a little bit more from one of his riders in particular as they come into the home straight this time. Bell lap. Half a lap to go now, 4 minutes clicks through. Looking for around a 4.7, maybe 4.8 here as they come down. They'll stop the clock, 4:08.473 for the Queensland Juniors. Great start. Move on to heat number 2 now. We welcome the team of Victoria onto the start line. Victoria represented by Thomas Butler, Lawson Franzman, Oscar Gallagher and Eddie Jirovic. So moving nicely. Down to 3 riders now as they come into the home straight. So trailing the time of Queensland ever so slightly, the Victorian team. However, they seem to be holding onto their pace just that little bit better in comparison to the ride. The Queensland team started to drop off the pace just ever so slightly. So they've got a chance here, the Victorian team, if they can lift over this last part of the journey to be able to get in front of Queensland. We'll see how they go. They'll head down the back straight this time. Really starting to move. They're almost dead level with the time of Queensland now as they went through with half a lap to go. It's going to be on the last rider across the line. They're going to stop the clock. Quickest time, 4:07.963. Nice, intelligent piece of bike riding there by the Victorian team. Didn't fall off the pace in that 3rd and 4th kilometre. They really rode solidly. Put your hands together for Victoria. They put themselves into the top 4 to be able to race later this evening. Now we just wait to see where they will end up. We welcome our next team out onto the track now. A team of New South Wales, represented by Kai Galtman, Liam Galtman, Harry Ludman and Tobin Smith. Time to beat is 4:07.963. That's Victoria. Queensland, 4:08.468. Just 0.505 behind the team of Victoria. Nice clean start there by the New South Wales team. Riders coming out nicely. Just try and settle themselves in. Get on top of the gear, but they're just going to settle themselves in over this first 2 to 3 laps. The job of the starter, to get them up to pace. And the second rider, just to top the pace up and get them on a pace that they are going to sit to and set their schedule to. It's hard work for the starter. They've got to get them off the line, get them up to pace, and then they've got to get back on whilst the second rider just tops the pace up ever so slightly. Then 3rd and 4th, it's their job just to hold the pace. Hold the pace and make sure whatever the coach is yelling at them, it's the right pace, it's the right thing that they're doing. You can see the 4th rider now, our second rider in line, just losing the wheel ever so slightly. Does get into the tops of the thighs very, very quickly. Standing start in teams of suit. They've gone through in a 1:09.235. So somewhat off the pace of our earlier 2 teams. It's such a long way. 16 laps in this formation. Just got to get themselves into the top 4, this New South Wales team. Set the fastest time they possibly can. That's all that's asked of them. And then they see where they end up. New South Wales comes through. Still looking good at the moment. Still tracking around 3rd place compared to our first 2 times. Not unusual when we had a look at the first 1,000 metres. They'll come through the halfway point at the moment. 2:11 at the moment for the New South Wales team. Just a little bit of daylight starting to appear between the wheels here. These boys are under pressure, there's no doubt about it. They're trying to give their best ride they possibly can here, trying to get themselves up into the top four. We've still got South Australia and Tasmania still to come. See the first rider just putting his teammates under a little bit of pressure. Daylight starting to form between first and second. Third wheel also just laying off the wheel ever so slightly. Just grit your teeth and hang on is the word from the coach. They swing up now, and after chasing for a good lap or two, now you've got to try and do your turn. Swings up out of the way. That'll be the end of one of our New South Wales riders there. He's done a good job. Tough job out there. 3:16 they go through for. There's Tobin Smith, the rider who drops out of the New South Wales quartet. His job done. And he allows the two Galtman brothers and Harry Ludman to try and lift the pace towards the finish here. Harry swings up. They're coming to the home straight this time. Still moving nicely. You can tell the effort's very, very high for these guys as they head down the back straight. The bell sounds this time for the New South Wales Junior Men's 19 team. Going to be a little bit slower than the other two teams so far. But we expect that in the Junior 19 competition. Not everyone's going to come out the same with younger teams, first year riders amongst it. 4:19.893 is the time they've set for New South Wales. We move on to heat number 4 now. This is South Australia. A team of Jack Clark, Will Holmes, Will Mathwin and Caelan Tucker. So the South Australian team underway as they come into the home straight. Looks like Caelan Tucker has been given the task to get them going here. And a good 2-lap turn here from Caelan. So I would expect the tactic here is we're going to see 3 riders pretty quick. As Caelan swings up, gets in for the first one. That's a big start there from Caelan. 2-lap turn off the front. Their coach, Brett Aiken, the former Olympic champion, calling the schedule to them. They come through this time. Looks like the figure of Will Holmes. Does the turn, gets up out the way. Controlled start there from the South Australian team as well. will come through this time. They're looking good at this stage. Impressed with that start from Caelan Tucker. Got them moving nicely. The two riders, Jack Clark and Will Mathwin. These guys have all raced very hard over the last few days. Of course, we saw Will Holmes break the Australian record in the individual pursuit as Jack Clark comes onto the back, down the back straight. 3:08 Will Holmes in the 3,000 metre individual pursuit. Not far off the world record, 5 seconds in front of the old Australian record. Good riding here as they head down the back straight. (2,000 metres), 2:06.817. Moved very nicely indeed. It looks like Caelan Tucker, it might be, who's just swung up out the way after doing his job. Good ride by him after getting the way, such a big start. Getting that big 2-lap turn done in the starting. And it's worked. It's got them up into the second fastest time by halfway. Now the final three with Will Holmes setting the pace on the front with Will Mathwin and Jack Clark. Head down the back straight. Will Holmes still on the front. You'd expect to see this, the way this young man individual pursuits. You'd expect him to be doing big 2-lap turns. Going to assume the other two are going to be doing 1-lap turns. We'll have a look now as they go through. A 1-lap turn coming here as they'll come through, moving nicely. Second fastest, 3:06.883. Still another 2-lap turn here. This is a well-drilled team here from South Australia. Lap and a half turn, up and out the way. They know their job and they're doing it well here. They go through. Will Mathwin, half-lap turn, gets up out the way. Now you'll assume that Will Holmes will go to the front and stay on the front until the finish now and try and bring them home. We've got them up into the top 2 times at the moment. They'll try and go a little bit more if they can. They'd like to leave the track in first place. That'll make sure they're in the final regardless. They've still got the Tasmanian team to come for qualifying here this morning. Will Holmes leads them through with 1 lap to go. Now they're number 1 on the scoreboard as they go through at 1 lap to go. This has been a solid ride by this team. They're slightly tracking in front of the fastest time of the day. Where will they stop the clock? They're inside it, just inside. Great ride, 4:07.603 for South Australia. That was a very classy ride. So we move on to our 5th and final team, qualifying of the Junior Men's 19 Bill Young Trophy, Teams Pursuit. This is the team of Tasmania, ladies and gentlemen, represented by Nicholas Broxham, Alex Eves, Lachlan Oliver and Jonas Shelverton. Time to beat at the moment to go number 1 is 4:07.603. Set by South Australia. Been a very well-drilled squad, the Tasmanian juniors, over the last several years. few years ago. The majority of these riders, if not all, were the Teams Pursuit champions in the under-17 ranks. So the Tasmanian riders and the coaches doing great things over the last several years. Tasmania always coming up with some superstar athletes, but not always with Teams Pursuit teams the way they have with this group of juniors. We'll see what they can do here. 3 very sharp times to be competing with already. It's fastest time, that one of South Australia, 4:07.603. Then Victoria, 4:07.989. Queensland, 4:08.468. Of course, the Queensland team were the first team to ride, so had the disadvantage of not really seeing what everyone else is doing. Tasmania go through 1:07.5. So they're well and truly there and thereabouts. Queensland team was our fastest starter. They went through in a mid-1:5 for the first 1,000 metres. Tasmanian team moving nicely. As they go up the track, come back down onto the wheel. Not too much room left between the front wheel and the back wheel as they do, so the technique, very nice indeed as they go down the back straight. Nobody looking like they're in any real bother at the moment. We get a good understanding of how they're going the next time through. When they come up to the halfway point, they want to get themselves into the top 4 and see how they go. Just tracking at the 4th fastest time at the moment, 2:09.192, so not dissimilar to the time so far of New South Wales. They're doing enough to get themselves in the 4 at the moment. Just a little bit of daylight starting to form here. The whole idea here is to get themselves into that top 4, be able to ride again for a medal. Still all 4 riders as they go down. The man who's just swung up, just suffering a little bit to try and get in the slipstream, not going to make it, so they're down to 3 riders now. Tasmania as they go through. 3 riders left. That's a quick look. Nice work. They'll come up with 1,000 metres to travel, 3:11. So they're inside the time of New South Wales by a few seconds. But have a look at this. The Tasmanian team just in a spot of bother at the moment. They're tracking all right for 4th, but they've got to stay together. They've got a little bit of time to be able to deal with because New South Wales is a little bit behind them. But they can't leave a man behind because the New South Wales time may come into effect very quickly. Tasmania, they've just got to nurse themselves round now. All 3 of them just got to get round together. Still showing the 4th time. And look at the daylight starting to open. They'll come through this time to receive bell lap. The time will be taken on the 3rd rider. They're still okay at the moment. They've still got some room to play with to make the 4 in front of New South Wales as they go through with half a lap to go. They're going to be safe to get into the top 4, but that one started to hurt towards the end. Tasmania will go through 4th fastest time, 4:14.656 in the end. So they'll get to ride again with a chance in the ride-off for the bronze medal. We move on to our next qualifying event here. It's the Junior Men's 19s time trial qualifying. 4 laps of the track, 1,000 metres. 2 riders on the track at each time. Top 8 will go to the final tonight. Please welcome in the back straight, representing New South Wales, Harry Ludman. And in the home straight, also representing New South Wales, Zane Fisher. Both riders away, clean start. First heat of our 1,000 metre time trial qualifying. 9 heats in all. 18 riders looking for a chance to make the top 8 here and go through to the final later this evening. We also have the World Junior Champion in this event, Tate Ryan, starting in the last heat today. First lap done, 21.57 to Harry Ludman. Of course, the Australian cycling team, such a rich history in the 1,000 metre time trial at elite level and also at junior level. One of those events, so many world champions. Such a pity that it doesn't sit at the Olympic Games for the time being. It was one of those forward to events, wasn't it? New South Wales riders moving nicely. Ludman a little bit quicker at the moment. He's gone through his 3 laps, 51.8, moving nicely. Half a lap to go here. So well and truly looking to get in the single figures. He'll come down, stop the clock, 1:06.961 and 1:09.794 for Zane Fisher. So Harry Ludman puts the best time down to start the day, 1:06.961. Nice ride. We welcome heat number 2 out onto the track now. Welcome in the back straight, representing Queensland, this is Archie Pratt. And in the home straight, representing Western Australia, this is Chris Wright. Chris Wright away in the home straight for Western Australia. Archie Pratt from Queensland making his way into the home straight now. Fastest time so far, 1:06.961. Top 8 will go to the final. Nice fast start there from Archie. Not going with the aerodynamic handlebars though, just on a straight track bike really. And Chris Wright now settles himself into the tri-bars. It's not slowing Archie down at the moment. The first 500 looking sharp here from Archie Pratt. The bars really come into effect over the last part of the journey. Nice start, 35.551 for Archie. Chris Wright, some work to do to come up against Archie here. It's a strong ride here from Archie. But he's got 1 lap to go as he heads down the back straight. Chris Wright coming back to him now. 51.29, 51.4. Both riders have been moving nicely. Chris Wright just getting himself in front now of this challenge anyhow. Into the home straight. We have a look at the West Australian. Where's he going to stop the clock? Nice ride, 1:07.066. Archie Pratt just on normal handlebars, 1:07.948. Nice strong ride. Heat 3 now out onto the track. Welcome in the back straight from Victoria. This is Daniel Power. In the home straight from New South Wales, please welcome Jeremy Cannon. So nice clean starts for both riders as they get away. 1:06.96, top of the leaderboard. Then 1:07.06 from Chris Wright from WA. They're our top 2 times at the moment. 18 riders in all. So very high standard already. Daniel Power, 19.642. Nice first lap for him. Really moving nicely here, Daniel Power. Heads down the back straight through the first 500, 34.30. Jeremy Cannon, 35.19. Now got himself up into the second fastest time at the moment. Power still travelling as the fastest time we've seen so far as he comes up to get 1 lap to go. But Jeremy Cannon really starting to lift over this last little bit. These are the 2 fastest we've seen so far. Power into the home straight. Cannon just eclipsing him now. The New South Wales rider comes into the home straight, really moving nicely. Power just starting to die a little bit. 1:06.212 for Jeremy Cannon. Daniel Power, 1:06.883. Will still be good enough for the top 2 times. Our next heat out on to the track. This will be heat number 4. Please welcome in the back straight. Representing Queensland, this is Benjamin Rudd. And in the home straight, representing Victoria, this is Hamish Clarkson. away now in heat number 4. Have a look to see how these two go through the first lap. 4th and 6th just for the moment. Different styles of riding the 1,000-metre time trial. You'll get the riders who are very quick out of the blocks. You'll see them go through sub 20 seconds. And you'll get other riders around the 21s who just don't slow down in that last lap. And that's the important part here. You've got to go fast, but you've got to hang on to the pace as well. And that last half lap really does make the difference. Bell sounds for Benjamin Rudd in the back straight. He's moved himself up from 4th to 3rd here. Moving nicely the Queenslander into the home straight. Get behind him with half a lap to go. He's leading Hamish Clarkson. Where can he stop the clock here? Benjamin Rudd looks strong through the finish. Very strong indeed. 1:05.677. Just as I said, it's important in that last lap, and he rode himself into that beautifully. What a ride. Hamish Clarkson, Victoria, 1:07.199. So Benjamin Rudd goes to the top of the leaderboard for now. 1:06.677. Jeremy Cannon, New South Wales, in second now. 1:06.212. Great rides. Move on now to heat number 5. I'd like to welcome all of our viewers on the AusCycling YouTube channel. Welcome in the back straight, representing Victoria, this is Reuben Smith. In the home straight, please welcome from New South Wales, this is Patrick May. Both riders away nicely here. Great time already set by Ben Rudd from Queensland, 1:05.67. Some good pace here, Reuben Smith. I'm not surprised to see him start very quickly indeed. 19.949 for the Victorian. He's moved very nicely in the fast events this last couple of days. Heads down the back straight this time. Fastest time through the first 500 here for Reuben Smith, 34.119. Moving quicker than what Ben Rudd did at that time. But Ben Rudd, he really held on to it over the last lap and a half. Reuben Smith still in front as he comes into the home straight with half a lap to go, the Victorian. Let's get behind him. Can he get himself to the top of the leaderboard here? You can see that it's just starting to tighten up ever so slightly as he heads down the back straight. He's going to stop the clock with a top time, 1:04.962 for Reuben Smith. That's a great ride. Patrick May, 1:07.144. So Reuben Smith from Victoria really setting a standard then. We welcome our next heat up onto the track. This is heat number 6 of 9. In the back straight, we welcome from South Australia, Jameson Key. And in the home straight, also from South Australia, we welcome Kai Arbery. Kai Arbery, part of the team sprint team that won the national title last night. Kai Arbery in the home straight getting underway. Jameson Key going to try and go with him here. Arbery, no surprise, very, very fast start because the South Australian team sprint team in the juniors yesterday moved very, very quickly indeed. The team of Arbery, Van der Kerk and Tate Ryan. They'll come through this time, Kai Arbery. Once again, we see another rider just using normal handlebars, 34.195 for Kai Arbery. There's a big first 2 laps, but he has been handed the refrigerator by the bear in the back straight because he's really suffering as he comes into the home straight this time as Jameson Key rides onto this one. And Kai really finding what a kilometre is like here today. Everyone feels like he does. They don't always show it that way though. Jameson Key down the back straight, going to finish off his time. Nice ride, 1:06.942. Kai Arbery comes across the line, finishes off his ride, 1:13.129 there. We move on to our next heat, Heat 7. Mitchell Louis from Queensland joins us in the home straight. Neil Van der Kerk from South Australia, national champion last night, joins us in the back straight. I've just had confirmed to be by Scott McGorry what I actually thought Kai Arbery was doing, and Kai was out there just trying to show the absolute fastest lap to the coaches. That's why we saw him slow down in the second half. It was a nice start as well, fastest one we've seen so far. Mitch Louis gets away from the home straight. Now we have Neil Van der Kerk in the home straight. Moving nicely. Seen both of these guys go very well in the sprint events over the last couple of days. Mitch Louis moving nicely down the back straight. Neil Van der Kerk smooth in his position through the first 500, 4th and 5th fastest times. Still sub 34 second 500s for both these riders. Van der Kerk, nice Basuta-like position now, tucked in to the aero bars nicely. Mitch Louis trying to hang on to it just in the normal handlebars. Neil Van der Kerk's got himself up to second now with half a lap to go, hanging on to the pace nicely. Can he go to number 1 in front of Ruben Smith? Can he hang on to his second place? He goes down the back straight, stops the clock. 1:05.372. Mitch Louis, 1:06.503. So Neil Van der Kerk, he goes to number 2 for now in the qualifying. We move on to our penultimate heat of our junior men's time trial qualifying. We welcome in the back straight, representing Western Australia, this is Sam Washington. In the home straight, we welcome from New South Wales, Noah Mason. Noah Mason away in the home straight. Took the bronze medal last night in the team sprint. Another one of the riders who was trying out with just the normal handlebars, not going for the aero position. Sam Washington gets into the aero tuck as they go down the back straight. 5th and 8th fastest times to start with. Washington 4th in the individual pursuit. He was 3rd last night in the points race. He was also 3rd in the scratch race. So he's having a good few days here. They go through the 500 almost identical, 35.5, 34.7, 5th and 6th at the moment. So they're travelling nicely to get themselves into the final later here this evening. Big day to try and back up to 1,000 metre time trials in the same day. Washington goes to the front now, 2nd fastest with 1 lap to go. Mason's got himself up to 4th. Washington moving nicely. He's used to riding 3 kilometres. Going to come round into the straight. Going to stop the clock nicely here. Fastest time for Sam Washington. 2nd fastest time. We'll just wait for the scoreboard to update itself there. Because it flicked the time up really quickly, up on the scoreboard and also on my data up here in the commentary position. And it was showing Sam Washington as the fastest time so far. So what we'll do is we'll wait for the official time from our timekeepers and we'll move on to our final heat, heat number 9. We'll welcome in the back straight Xavier Bland from New South Wales and Tate Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, in the home straight, representing South Australia, but here in the world champion jersey as the junior men's 19 current world champion. Both riders away. Nice clean start as they lead. How good is it to see the rainbow bands out on the track at the moment? Xavier Bland gets himself up moving nicely, but have a look at the pace of Tate Ryan. 18.951 for the first lap. That's the fastest lap we've seen by far, and he is really smoking down the back straight. Bland comes through the home straight looking to get into the top 8 here. First 500, 32.074. This is the junior men 19s. Tate Ryan down the back straight, resplendent in the rainbow jersey, moving nicely. He'll come up to get 1 lap to go. Xavier Bland looking to get himself in the top 8. 45.816 for Tate Ryan. The pace not really going, but it is starting to hurt down the back straight. He's got half a lap to go. Quarter now. Tate Ryan into the home straight. Where's he going to stop the clock? 1 minute, .781 for Tate Ryan. Xavier Bland goes across the line. 1:06.719 for 9th. But Tate Ryan has done the jersey proud. Put your hands together in the home straight, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute, .781 for the world champion. So just to confirm that ride, 1 minute, .781. Tate Ryan qualifies in top spot for the final this evening. Samuel Washington qualifies in second place on 1:04.667. Ruben Smith, 1:04.962. Then Neil Van Niekerk, 1:05.372. Benjamin Rudd, 1:05.677. Noel Mason, 1:06.081. Seventh was Jeremy Cannon, 106.212, and Mitchell Louis is our 8th qualifier in 106.503. We now move on to our elite men. We have one rider in the back straight, and it will be the Victorian Zarin Fong Sutton. Please welcome in the back straight, Jade Madden of Victoria. In the home straight, Corey Boddington of Queensland. So the first heat of our men's time trial gets underway. I just need to confirm with everyone in the grandstand and in the track centre now, Tate Ryan's time in the junior men's is the new national record and all-comers record of Australia for junior 19s. Well done, Tate. As this heat goes through very nicely, let's see if Tate can break that minute mark later here this evening. I'll go through the first 500 of these two. 34.25, 34.57 for Boddington. Moving nicely. Final lap here. Not anything between Madden and Boddington as they move. We'll come up and finish this time. First two times in our senior field, 104.820 for Jade Madden, 104.864 for Boddington. So my apologies there, ladies and gentlemen. All comers and championship record, not the national record. The national record held still by Tom Cornish. But by the way Tate Ryan's going, possibly only for a few more hours. I've got Scott McGorry joining me up here in the commentary position, just giving me this data as we go. You'll be able to hear Scott and Kate Bates on the SBS On Demand channel later this evening. Move on to our next heat now. We'll welcome in the back straight from Queensland, Joshua Gluick, and in the home straight from Victoria, please welcome Sam Gallagher. So we're away now in heat number 2. Tate Ryan's time, 1 minute, .781. The national record by Tom Cornish was set in Aigle at the World Championships in 2018. The national record is 1 minute, .498. So lots to look forward to this evening when we see Tate back out on track. Meanwhile, Gallagher comes through his 500, 32.315 for Sam Gallagher. Gluick goes through 33.5 for him. Gallagher, another one of the riders, just going with the normal handlebars here. Moving nicely, 46.668. Gluick starting to come back ever so slightly though. Gallagher hangs on to it, got half a lap more to suffer to get him through to the final tonight. Sam Gallagher from Victoria. He's going to stop the clock nicely here, 1:02.400. Gluick goes through 1:04.147 to put themselves to the top 2 places on the leaderboard. So we move on to our penultimate heat of the elite men time trial qualifying. Now we welcome in the back straight from Victoria, Zarin Fong Sutton, and in the home straight from New South Wales, we welcome Dylan Ether. Zarin Fong Sutton comes into heat number 4 as Finn Carpenter from WA has scratched. He'll be riding a different event. So we've just got a little bit of a hold up. Those of you watching us on the AusCycling YouTube channel, you'll see just some work needed in the back straight, in the starting gate area and so forth, just to make sure everything's okay. We have had a few instances over the last few days where our track repair crews have been called on several times. Hasn't been too bad. There has been 1 or 2 mishaps, but being a board track, a wooden board track, just got to make sure there's no splinters sticking out when the riders come back out after one of the crashes, because the riders are going around on pounds per square inch in their tyres of around 200, 220 pounds, and they're a very lightweight walled tyre, so it doesn't take a lot to puncture them if something sharp is sticking around the edges of the velodrome. So great job to our work crew over the last few days to make sure everything's sweet and sound. Nice work there by our timing specialist, Neil Hamey, on the vacuum. Master of many, many trades. We move back on to our penultimate heat of our men's time trial qualifying, and we welcome back in the back straight Zarin Fong Sutton from Victoria And in the home straight, we have Dylan Ether from New South Wales. Fastest time so far, Sam Gallagher, 1:02.400. Clean start for both riders as we have the Victorian Fong Sutton through the home straight this time. Sits down. Nice quick start here from Dylan Ether though, New South Wales. Gets into the bars now. Both riders move through. No split time for the first lap from either rider. Dylan Ether, 33.43. Over the 500 up into second place. It's a good ride. Fong Sutton just a little bit off the pace, but Dylan Ether, he'll come round with 1 lap to go. Second quickest at 47.803. Comes up to get half a lap to go now, Ether. Looking to get himself up the top of the leaderboard before the final this evening. Good piece of riding here by Dylan Ether. He'll stop the clock. Second fastest time so far, 1:03.120. Zaran Fong goes through 1:06.682. So welcome our final heat out onto the velodrome, ladies and gentlemen. In the back straight from Tasmania, please welcome Josh Duffy. And on the home straight, representing Queensland, please welcome Byron Davies. So Byron Davies gets underway. He's had a great competition so far. Josh Duffy's been at the head of affairs in the endurance races. Seems to be on a big gear as he gets it away here. Have a look at the pace of Davies. 19.125 for Byron Davies. Josh Duffy, usually very good in the 1,000-metre time trial. He'll fancy the fact that he'll qualify regardless. 32.103 for Byron Davies. This is moving. Josh Duffy coming off a points race and also a scratch race over the previous 2 nights. Byron Davies come through with the fastest time so far, 45.507. Duffy moving nicely, well within the top 8 for qualifying. Where's Byron Davies going to stop the clock here in the qualifying? He comes up, stops the clock. 59.885 for Byron Davies, fastest time we've seen here today. Nice piece of riding from Byron Davies. The man is on form. Josh Duffy, 1:03.322. I know he's got plenty more in him. We'll see both of those riders in the final later today. But put your hands together for Byron Davies, beating the 1 minute barrier. Superb to see. Our next event to come out onto the track now, ladies and gentlemen, is our junior women's team sprint qualifying. Looking for the fastest 2 times to go into the gold final. Third place will receive the bronze medal. Our first team is the Australian Capital Territory, represented by Sarah Burger, Natasha Sitsky and Lauren Bates. So our ACT team out there to set the fastest time they possibly can here to get themselves into the gold medal ride-off as they come through. 2 laps to go. 21.65 the start. Moving nicely down the back straight here as they come into the home straight. .37.69 as they go round now to finish off as they head down the back straight. Lauren Bates, I think it is, finishing off the team. Moving nicely through the bend. We'll see what the ACT can put down here. 52.062, just under 51 kilometres an hour. So that's the time set. They'll go back and they'll sit in the virtual hot seat and see if they've done enough to ride for gold and silver. If they haven't, they're going to go home with the bronze medal. We now welcome the Queensland team into the home straight. Olivia Wright, Victoria Smith and Ella Liang. Away now, clean start here for the Queensland team. Just getting themselves going down the back straight. Ella Liang very quick out of the start. The second rider now just getting into position. They come through this time. We'll have a look at their time. Moving nicely, quickest start so far. Nice work from Olivia Wright. Got the team away nicely. Victoria Smith with the job to do to consolidate on that lead as she leads through. Ella Liang as they'll come into the home straight this time. Gets up out the way. Still the quickest time here. So looking for a gold medal right off here. They led through the first and second lap. Their fast rider now, Ella Liang, leading into the home straight. We'll see where they're going to stop the clock. It's going to be touch and go here. Second fastest in the end, 53.415 for Queensland. Just outside the time of the ACT. So the ACT, 53.062, Queensland, 53.415. Nothing between the two teams. But now we wait to see what New South Wales can come up with. We welcome into the home straight, representing New South Wales, the team of Phoenix Julian, Maya Dillon and Lily Tataranoff. Clean start as they get themselves away here. Phoenix Julian is the rider to get them going. A little bit ragged here, Maya Dillon. A little bit of trouble going up the track then as they went through to the bend. Got to get herself up into the slipstream now. See how they go through this first lap. Julian gets them away. Second quickest at the moment. So quite the tight contest between these three teams here. Maya Dillon leads through. Lily Tataranoff about to get underway. Tataranoff set sail. Fastest now with 1 lap to go. Ridden brilliantly over the last few days, Tataranoff. Multiple time national champion out of this championships. Going to come through, put them in the top spot, 52.519. New South Wales will qualify into first place. And a home straight start in the final later this evening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our afternoon session here at the Anna Meares Velodrome. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage on the AusCycling YouTube channel. This is our last streaming of the championships for the AusCycling YouTube channel. From the AusCycling channel for this championships, we will be on the SBS On Demand with Scott McGorry and Kate Bates from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, and then again tomorrow from SBS On Demand. We hope you can join us there. Everyone in the grandstand here at the Anna Meares Velodrome, I hope you enjoyed this afternoon's qualifying. We'll be here at 6 p.m. start. We've got every race is a final this evening. We've got 7 finals from teams pursuits, team sprint, time trials and points races. So plenty to look forward to. A great program of racing tonight. For those of you leaving us, take care. Looks like the weather is starting to just get a little bit wet outside, and we'll see you later this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.